I've kind of divided the business sales intel engine into these various sections. And I'll quickly go through what each one of these does so you can see the power of it. Now, news and meeting prep, what we do here is this is really designed to help us find information prior to contacting a prospect. So this could be sending an email, prior to sending an email, picking up the phone, a sales meeting. And what I try to do is just find a piece of interesting news about what's going on in the other individual's world. So for example, if I'm going to go meet with 3M, now they're a big company, so I'm going to get a lot of news, but I'll go in here and I'll just type in 3M. And as you see, a number of results appear. Now, the one thing I can do is I can sort between relevance and date. So the difference is relevance is obviously more relevant and date is more recent. So I'll just go back to relevance. And this is kind of general news sources, so I get a lot. But then I can also click on business news, recent press releases, any social media posts that's going on in the company, any blog posts, so these are things that they're talking about themselves, and any general search results. Now again, obviously 3M, big company, I'm going to get a lot of results. Where this is really different is when I go in and I'm searching for smaller companies. So I'll choose Actify. Actify is a small financial services software company located in Minneapolis. So I can run my search and, I got to clear it out real quick. Go back in and do Actify. And again, now I'm getting some basic news articles about what's going on in their world. So again, some of these are old. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to sort by date. Then I have to, once I sort by date, I've got to go back in and click on the different tabs here. And I get some basic information. So for example, December, they just hired Nathan Ostertag. So when I speak with them, I might congratulate them on that new hire. Those are the kinds of ways I use that information. Now, company details is very similar. I can go in, I type in the name of a company. So if I type in a big company like 3M, I'm going to get lots of results, but I can click on any one of these because these are pulling up all the different divisions of 3M, and it will give me some basic information about the company, number of employees, amount of revenue. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking you to websites that have this information listed. So in this example, Zoom Info, I'm taking you to that website. I can look at what their social media accounts, if I wanted to follow them. Again, huge companies, so every single division might have a social media account. That's why you're getting so many results. Who their investors might be. Now, if they have a nonprofit foundation, so here's the 3M Foundation, I can click on here and pull up their entire financial statements for the nonprofit, their Better Business Bureau ratings, employee reviews, customer reviews, any court cases that are out there. And this is kind of nice. This is actually their general search results. So what I try to do is filter out all the junk. And the only thing that stays in here are hopefully legitimate information about the company. Now again, 3M, big company, going to get a lot of results. I'm going to go here. We'll use our example, Actify again. We're going to get a lot fewer results, but same type of thing. I can go in here on Actify, get some information about the organization, their social media accounts, Better Business Bureau rating, any employee reviews, and again, general search results without all the junk. So again, this is designed as you're doing your prospecting, A, to just verify that the company is a good prospect for you, and B, to get some information prior to your call. Because, the old way of doing things in a sales call is saying something like, hey, how big are you guys? The new way of doing things is to go in and in 1 or 2 seconds, pull up some information. And now I can say, when I contact them, I can say, hey, I see that you are about a $3.8 million company with about 20 employees. I know you're a privately held company, so I'm not sure how accurate that is. And my contact might say, oh, yeah, that's really wrong. We're up to 22 employees. We're doing 6 million. Because again, in sales, our goal here is not to necessarily have the right information. In sales, our goal is to have information so we can ask better questions. Just because it's online obviously doesn't mean that it's right or that it's accurate. But what it does do is it gives us permission to ask those better questions. So that's really what the news and meeting prep and company details are to get us some information. Now, sales triggers is really designed to help us find opportunities. So I can go in here and I can type in the name of a company or an industry and really find out what's going on in the other person's world in that industry, because those might present themselves as an opportunity. So a sales trigger is, why would somebody take my call today versus, 6 months ago, they wouldn't take my call. So the example I use in my presentations is, if I call you today and I pretend that, hey, I'm Sam from Sam's Roofing, I'd love to come out and give you a free estimate. Well, you're going to hang up on me. But if 10 minutes ago your house just got hit by a hailstorm and water's leaking through your roof, now I call Sam, hey, this is Sam from Sam's Roofing, I'd love to come out and give you a free estimate. Well, I'm your new best friend. So what are some sales triggers that might be going on in your industry, in your world? So for example, I can go in here and I can type in healthcare, and I'll choose the year 2019, and I'll choose Minneapolis, and I'll get some sales triggers. What's going on in the healthcare industry in Minneapolis? And so I'll get some recent executive hires. So why do we care about that? Because there's a statistic that I read that said that C-level executives will spend 70% of their budget within the first 3 months of being hired. Now, why might that be? Well, think about it. If you're a C-level executive or a new president or even a vice president, you want to impress the people that hired you. So oftentimes you're going to go in and look at all of your vendor relationships and determine if you can do better. So a new hire might be a reason to call. A retirement could be beneficial. A partnership, so any announced new partnerships, mergers or acquisitions, any companies that are moving or expanding. So this would be great for anybody in the construction industry, the networking industry, the insurance industry. So obviously anytime there's an acquisition, an announced partnership, or for sure somebody who's moving or expanding, those are all trigger events for you to go in and sell your services, your solutions. Anybody who's hiring, and then any executive stock sales. Not one that a lot of folks will use, but if you're a financial advisor, that might be a good one. Predictive sales triggers. This one's pretty neat. So I've partnered with an organization called Intelligence 360 that gives us funding activity. So this is, again, really good to find out. I call it predictive sales triggers because these might be events that are going to occur in the future where you might be able to get in there. And so I can select by market, year, day, state, metro market. I'm just going to kind of show you in general what this does. So I can click on November and it'll give me venture capital or funding. So organizations who've received venture capital or funding. And so it kind of opens up a spreadsheet here. Now, there's a lot of stuff in here. So it gives us what was funded, the geographic market, and I can scroll to the right here and I can see that this is a $25 million project. Here's our decision maker, chief executive officer, the address, phone number, website address, and oftentimes if I scroll back here, I can even see what the funding activity was. So what are they doing? What are they going to do with the money? I can also see SBA funding. So this is, again, small business administration funding, same type of thing. I can pull up the entire spreadsheet. It tells me what they're using the loan for. So again, I might be able to go in and, like I said earlier, I can choose a state, choose a market, and then federal contracts awarded as well. So you can click on any one of these, or again, choose your state, and it'll pull up the activity in those states. Company search allows us to basically build lists of companies. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. I can type in a word that must appear in the company name. So for example, I could do hotel in Denver. And I could do company listings. So this is BuzzFile. This is an organization that lists company information online. Notice that every single one has the word hotel, and it's in Denver. Or I can look at company listing LinkedIn profiles. So these would be company pages on LinkedIn. And what's nice about these is oftentimes you can click on these and you want to make sure you're logged in on another page on LinkedIn, but it gives you the number of employees, and sometimes even it'll tell you a link to the employees at the company who have a LinkedIn profile. So all 10 employees at that company that have a LinkedIn profile. And you can, of course, search by industry. So over here, I'm saying the word hotel must be in the company name. Over here, I'm just saying they must be in the hotel industry. So again, Hotel Denver, I'm going to get a lot more results. So same type of thing, company listings. So as you see now, I get 1,000. And this one's nice because it just takes me to the company contact pages. So this would be many companies, almost most websites will have a contact us page. So this just gets us right to the contact us page. And again, I can obviously put the name of a hotel in there as well. So Marriott Hotel, Denver, company contact us page. I can also look for association contacts. So I can go in here and find, financial. So find me all financial association contacts. Wait for the little mouse to spin there. And so this will pull up financial. So where it's a financial service association, nonprofit contacts. So this would be nonprofit organizations. Again, I can sort by, or I can add in additional information like location, educational contacts. So I'll do that here. So New York, educational contacts in New York, in financial. So it'll pull up colleges, high schools, and of course you can search by name as well. Even that, so I can even go in here and I'll say the word Minneapolis must be somewhere, the title of the department or those kinds of things. And you'll see staff directories, those kinds of things. So that would be government. Or I could go in here and type in, University of Minnesota, education contacts. Let's say I want to find dentists at the University of Minnesota. So the dental department, University of Minnesota, education contacts, and you pull up the full staff directory. So those are the kinds of things you can do in the contact company search area. Biz People Search. This is kind of a backdoor way of finding people's profiles online. And there's lots of different things you could do here. I should probably do a whole hour-long webinar just on this. But I can go in here, I can search by name, I can search by company. So only find me people who work at 3M, but only find me ones who live in Los Angeles and have the word marketing in their job title. So these would be 3M employees who work in marketing, but they also live in Los Angeles. Or I can say, well, what I really want is I want directors, so the word director is part of their job title, and they're in marketing at 3M in Los Angeles. So I can pull up those folks. And it'll work on lots of different things. So, for example, if you went to the University of Minnesota and you think that might be a way to help get you in the door at an organization, I can say, well, find me all people in Los Angeles who have the job title CEO in the healthcare industry. So they live in Los Angeles, job title CEO in the healthcare industry, and they went to the University of Minnesota. So you can kind of backdoor that way. And so long as and this one's pulling information from LinkedIn, so long as I am I have a LinkedIn account and I've logged into LinkedIn somewhere, I can go in here and pull up that information. Lots of different things, ways to search for information on here. Now, people search, I'm going to continue to add stuff in here. This just helps us get information on individuals. Now, if the person you're searching for is Jim Smith, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. If they have a less common name, like Joe Bafutnik, it'll actually be pretty good. So I can go in here, I'll use myself as an example. So Sam Richter would be helpful if I spelled my own name right. Live in Minnetonka. Now here's the key. You got to type in the abbreviation of the state. So Sam Richter, Minnetonka, Minnesota. And what this is doing is it's searching a database called True People Search. Now how accurate is this information? The answer is it depends. But it's the best source I know of out there. Now they got a lot of ads on here, so you're not going to want to click on these because these are going to make you pay for the information. But that's my correct address. Those are our correct phone numbers. Those are some old email addresses, but that one's correct. And previous addresses, those are correct. Possible relatives, Those are all correct. Possible businesses, those are all correct. So it's going to be kind of hit or miss. But it's the best one that I know out there that has that kind of information. And I can, even probably this one, I'll take out the previous name. Now, finding people on Facebook. Facebook used to have a really good search engine. It's just not so good anymore. So I've tried to make it a little helpful to find people on Facebook. So you can go in here and type in information. And then once you're in Facebook, obviously that's me. But you can even go in here and say, well, I want people in Minnetonka, Minnesota, who like dogs. You can do that in Facebook as well. So not as good as it used to be within Facebook search, but I try to make it a little bit easier for you with People Search Personal. I'm going to continue to add new features in all of these over time, but specifically this one. Contact info we really covered in our last webinar, but let me just quickly do it. This is based on the concept that but most companies' email addresses are the same back end as their website address. So if I can figure out somebody's website address, I can usually figure out somebody's email address. So for example, we'll use our friends at Actify. So what we do is we type in their website address with no www, just their kind of domain, and click the email naming convention. And what I'm looking for is, how do these people do their email addresses? So here it looks like they could be first initial last name or just first name at. So I can also even go in here, grab that, and I can verify that. So, hey, let's just see if that's accurate. So Spencer at Actify.com will verify if that's an accurate email address, and it is. So you can hopefully determine people's email addresses and then go in here and verify if that's an actual address. So let me kind of show you this in the real world. So let's say I want to find, again, somebody at 3M. So we'll use 3M, company name. I want to find someone who has the word vice in their job title, so vice president, and in their healthcare division. Click here. And we're just going to grab this person right here just as an example. So Don Ashton, just because it's easy to spell. So I know, go back here, I know website, mmm.com. See how they do their email naming convention. Looks like they do first initial last name. Now again, they're a big company, so sometimes you're going to have a 1, sometimes you're going to have a middle initial. But in general, it's probably going to be first initial last name. So D Ashton at mmm.com. And we can see if that's a legitimate email address or not. It may or may not be. It looks like this one is. So that's the legitimate email address for Don. What's also nice here is I can go in, again, mmm.com, and I can find just websites where email addresses for people at 3M might be listed, or phone numbers. What I often look for here is a direct number somewhere. That looks more like a direct number than it would be, the general number at 3M. Contact information and documents, and any site contact information. Again, the About Us pages, those kinds of things. Marketing opportunities. This is pretty cool. So let's say you're in the healthcare industry. You can go in here. This allows you to spread your message. So find me a podcaster. I can contact these folks and see if they might be interested in having me as a guest on their podcast. Find me a blogger in the healthcare industry. So these might be people that might be interested in taking my article. This one's probably my favorite. Be a guest author. So these are publications that are saying, write for us. We want your article. We want your content. I can find a reporter. So find me the healthcare reporter at the New York Times. And you can obviously search by any type of thing. And it'll pull up their information. So you can type in any type of, beat, if you will, city, or search by publication. Attend a conference. So I want to attend healthcare conferences in 2020. And it'll pull up every healthcare conference in the world in 2020. Or maybe even speak at a conference. And I want to speak in Denver. So I want to speak at healthcare conferences in Denver in 2020, speak at a conference. And we can pull up the lists where they're looking for people to submit proposals to speak at that conference. Now, these last two are pretty cool. Prospecting and List Finder. This was one I've really recently redone and simplified. So for those of you who've tried it in the past, it was a lot more confusing. Hopefully, I've made it a lot better. The goal here is to just try different stuff. This is where the others are really, I've really hopefully designed it so it's pretty intuitive, and you type in something, click the button, you get exactly that. This is a little bit more of an art form. We're not exactly sure what's going to show up. So we'll try different things. If I'm saying, financial and New York, and I want to find membership directories for financial organizations in New York, and this will go out and theoretically find, there we go, it'll find member directories for us. And inside the member directory, something related to financial. Attendee lists. I can remove that and just say, find me New York Chamber of Commerce lists. Find me business directories in New York. So what's cool is the only thing I had to type in was the phrase New York, and the system does the rest for me. Customer and distributor lists. So again, we'll do 3M. Now on this one, I'm going to move down here where I'm saying the word, whatever I put in here must be part of the title of whatever I'm looking for, versus up here just included somewhere. So that's why I said it's an art form. You want to try different things, but I'll do 3M and see if I can find any 3M customer lists that might be out there. Distributor lists, customer lists. Notice the word 3M is in every one of these. So I'm getting distributor lists, and this would be vendor supplier lists. So either supply to 3M or 3M as a supplier. So I obviously, I pick on 3M, I'm going to get a lot of results. Smaller companies, you're going to get fewer results. But you can try, like I said, try different things. I might try Minneapolis, and I'm going to type in manufacturing, customer, client, distributor lists. Like I said, you just never really know what's going to show up. And sometimes you're going to get bad results, goofy results, just like you would in any search. Hopefully I'm designing the system that gets you better results more often. Now, these last two are pretty cool. Contacts in spreadsheets and contacts in documents. So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I know their web address is jenmills.com, or excuse me, I know their email address, the back end is jenmills.com. So if General Mills, if anybody at General Mills is on this list, it's probably a pretty good list. So I'm going to go jenmills.com, and I'm going to find contact information within downloadable spreadsheets. So as you can see, I can scroll through these. These are all downloadable spreadsheets, all of them with email addresses, oftentimes phone numbers. And like I said, you just never know what's going to show up. So you can try different terms in here. So jenmills.com must be in there, and the word marketing must be in there. Contacts and spreadsheets. Who knows what's going to show up? And same thing, these would be contacts and documents, like PDF files, Word documents, those kinds of things. And these other buttons will work as well. So Jen Mills, marketing, membership directories. See where they might show up. Attendee lists. So like I said, just try different things. Obviously, we're not hacking into anything. This is publicly accessible information. So it's all ethical. You're not doing anything wrong here. Now, once you have the information, you need to follow the CAN spam rules and the telemarketing rules. You can't just be loading all these people into a database. You have to reach out to them like you would with any list. But again, we're not hacking. So people will tell me, oh, hey, I attended a conference. Where's that attendee list? I can't find it anywhere. Well, the reality is it just might not be online. Not every member directory, not every attendee list is online. But if it is online, hopefully this makes it easy to find. And then Research Doc Finder. This is pretty cool. I actually use this a lot in preparation for my presentations. And this would be great for business planning, business research, marketing planning, presentations, proposals, all sorts of things. Just like Prospecting and List Finder, it's kind of an art. Try different things and see what shows up. But I'll go in here, I'll just type in the word sales, find me any current industry trends related to sales. And it'll pull up reports, it'll pull up white papers, research. And let's say I'm very specifically interested in HVAC sales, right? So HVAC sales, current industry trends. and it'll find that information. So it just gets us information for our reports, for our proposals. This one I really like. Find me recent survey results. So HVAC sales surveys results. Bet you didn't think there were any, but there are. Now again, on this one, you might want to be broader. So I might just say, the word financial. Find me any recent survey results in the financial services industry. But I'm getting access to all these different reports and things like that might have some data that I can use in my planning. And then even other people's PowerPoint presentations. So again, same thing, word or phrase in the title. This time I'm going to type in, I'll type in social media. And I'm going to add the word 3M. So the phrase social media must be part of the title of the presentation. The word 3M is somewhere inside the presentation. And I'm going to pull up other people's PowerPoint presentations. Click on any one of these and open them up. Again, same type of thing here. I'm just looking for recent RFPs, price sheets, manual guides, annual reports. You can type in a company name. So find me any recent RFPs related to 3M. Find me any price sheets. And what's cool here is you can type in a product name. You can type in a model number, all sorts of things, kind of see what shows up. So 3M, and I'm going to type in Post-it. So price sheets for 3M Post-it notes. See if anything shows up. Yep, here we go. Post-it styles with pricing, manuals and guides, and annual reports for the company. And then any documents that are just located online. Again, try different things. So I might type in, on this one, I'm going to say it must be limited to, I'm going to do Jen Mills, jenmills.com. Find me PDF or Word documents that are sitting on the website, jenmills.com. So now we're kind of doing some, and there's nothing there. That's fine. Sometimes you don't get anything. Let's try a different company. So let's do, we'll do 3m.com, just kind of see what's there. Hopefully there's something. There we go. So these are PDF documents that are sitting. Notice that every result is coming from mmm.com. So it's on their website. Or we can just do other things, find me 3M in spreadsheets. So 211,000 Excel spreadsheets where the word 3M is somewhere on the spreadsheet. Or again, I can move it anywhere in here and add different terms, other documents, web pages. So this can be sometimes interesting. So find me the word 3M, but only limit your results to .edu. So educational websites. It doesn't have to be just a company domain. I could type in a type of domain. Find me the word 3M on educational websites. Show me give me what shows up. Notice that every one of these has 3M in it, and they're all in .edu websites. So again, this is kind of just a trial and see what shows up kind of a thing. So those are the kind of a quick overview of the changes I've made. I'm going to continue to make changes, and on a monthly basis when we do these webinars, I will let you know of any updates. I'm going to continually refine, and also because you're a member, if you've got some ideas, if you're like, hey Sam, can the system find this? Please email me. Please reach out to me, and I see. Hopefully, I can build a new feature. I only can build it if I know that people are looking for it. So let's see if there's any questions out there. Pull this up here. Looks like there's no open questions for now. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Again, reach out at any time. Just want to review again how we access this is once you've logged into the High Profit Sales Coaching Program. So when you log in, you'll see this, and then I can click right on Mark's calls, right on Sam's calls. In this example, we're just going to click here and launch the engine. So thank you very much. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday and a peaceful holiday and a great start to the new year. And I look forward to speaking with all of you in a few weeks. Thank you very much.